Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the country's biggest stars and some fascinating and interesting people too. Planet Circus OMG has been on tour now for 7 years. The Hoffman family formed the circus decades ago, and it's now managed and run by Mark Whitney. The circus is part of a new documentary 3-part series on Channel 5. Circus Kids, Our Secret World airs Thursdays at 9 o'clock, and I'm delighted to say Mark Whitney joins us on the phone now. How are you doing?
I'm great, yeah, thanks. Nice to speak to you, Alex.
Lovely to talk to you. I saw the programme last night and I was hugely impressed. I thought firstly it came across with warmth and authenticity and sincerity. Sometimes these docu-programmes don't always come across well, do they?
We're in this reality age now with Big Brother and Love Island, and I've been approached many years to do a programme and to write a book about the life of the circus and whatever. But what I wanted to get across with it, because it was obviously my idea, was how I wanted it to be real. I wanted people to watch it and to see us as we are, and to see the kids as they are, and to see really what a good life circus life is, what a good life it is for everybody there. I strongly wanted that to come across, and I think we achieved that, which I'm so pleased with.
It's interesting, isn't it? When we watch this programme, it is sort of a secret world. I think people are fascinated because, of course, you're living life on the road, which is incredibly tricky, isn't it? For schooling, for education, for eating, for living, for surviving, for finding relationships. And I guess that's what you're tapping into.
I think so. But I think for us it's incredibly normal to live like that. I mean, just as your door will open out into your street and you're used to certain things, mine will do the same. It's just that it's in a different place every week. So when I open my door, the big top is always there, and Tanya's right by me, so we've got our own sort of structure. It's kind of a big sort of moving city. It's just that we sort of change places every week. But I mean, we get a lot out of obviously traveling throughout the country, and we meet loads of people. We're up in the northeast now, which is like I'm like an honorary Geordie. It's great, it's like being home. The people are so kind. So in that side of it, it can look hard, but to a degree, it outweighs what you get from it. So I think if for us, we wouldn't live. I mean, I have a house and I live by the sea as well. But for me, my life is the circus. This is what I was brought up in. I was always backstage. It was always the theatre. It was always the circus. This is what I know, and it's kind of what we all know. And there's such a strong bond with all of us. Such a strong bond. We look out for one another. We care for one another. We enjoy the life. It is such a good life, and that's really what I wanted to come across. Is that yes, we work hard. Yes, we travel, but we enjoy our lives, and we get a huge amount from it. And and I'm so pleased. I wouldn't do anything else. If I had £1 for everybody that said to me, I'd love to run away and join the circus, because everybody does. It's the romantic thing to do. But it is a great life, and life really is, whether you're in a house or you're on the road with a show, life's what you make it, and we are lucky here when we started it. That was what we wanted to make, a lovely place to live, a lovely place for all the children to grow up, a happy place, a secure place, and I look back now and I think, we've all achieved that, which is, thank God, that's brilliant.
Having seen the circus live, firstly, it's an incredible scale. I mean, you put a lot into this. It's professional. It's as good as any touring theatre show in a theatre. And these caravans, what do we call them? Winnebagos, the places that your guys live are extraordinary.
Trailers.
But that doesn't do them justice. I mean, these are palaces on wheels, aren't they?
Well, I think when you're in, like we're in Middlesbrough now, and we travel from here to Scarborough, where we'll be for the summer for 6 weeks. You've got to be somewhere that's comfortable. It is your home for large periods of time, and when you're working, sometimes we'll start work in the morning very very early. We'll finish very very late. You want to be comfortable. You want to sort of live well, so yeah, it's home, it's home to us, and but the scale of it is huge, and I mean that's one thing we've always wanted, is to, so that when someone comes to see the show, it's on a par with something you'd see in the theatre. It has all of those kind of traditional circus elements, but presented in a modern way. Fire, all of the tricks with the lighting and the sound, because I believe in value for money. It's hard to earn money, and when people go out now, they spend their money. You've got to give them that 2 hours, and you've got to get them to put the phones down, and it's lovely to see families all together, granny, granddad, auntie, mum, dad, all the kids, and they're watching the show, and it's a buzz for us doing it and seeing the responses, because circus for a long time in this country has had, I feel, a very bad name, so it's nice now when people come and they see this and it takes them by surprise. It's like a breath of fresh air, and then you've hooked them in and they come back again and again, and to me that's an achievement, and that's something again I'm proud of.
I took my 80-year-old auntie twice to see you, and I took my nephew who's 5, and they both loved it in equal measure. I think, as you alluded to, the problem with circus 20 years ago was the association to the use of animals, and we should make it quite clear that Planet Circus do not use any animals whatsoever.
Yeah, we are an animal-free circus, but I do think, times change and entertainment evolves, not just circus. West End musicals now have evolved so that they use very little scenery. It's all projection and lighting. Concerts, rock concerts have evolved. Everything now is evolving. So I think, as the years go on and we change, we have to evolve, otherwise if we don't, we become extinct, and I never get into those arguments for and against, because to be honest with you, I'm so busy doing this. We're so busy doing this show and making it the best that it can be. We have acts from all over the world, gold medal award winners from the Monte Carlo Circus Festival, and to me that's my work, that's our work, is to make this today the best that it can be, and to evolve it and to change it, so that when the kids that you saw last night are my age, it will have evolved again, and it will be better than it is now. I see that's kind of our role. I never get into those arguments for or against or whatever, because we're so busy sort of in the now, really. I look back on all the past. I look back on it all because I think you learn from it, but I think you've got to keep moving forward.
And as we look at your circus today, it's loud and it's brash and it's fun and it's spectacular and it's remarkable. And I say the same to the producers of Cirque du Soleil. You have some of the greatest acrobats, performers and athletes in the world. Some of the stuff that they do really does defy belief. They're incredibly talented and disciplined, these people.
Oh, totally. And you give your life to it, isn't it, in a way? And you look at the Faltini family that are with us, they practice religiously, and you have to. Anything you do in life, I think, if you want to get the best result out of it, people will have probably heard me talking to Yasmin last night in the program, and I can remember being Yasmin's age, and I can remember somebody saying exactly that to me, that you can achieve anything in this, you can achieve anything. Give it 150%, and that's what you have to do. Be it a circus performer or a singer or a comedian. You have to have that fire, and you have to have that want to be there, to be brave, to work, to practice when you feel down, you feel fed up. You've got to go on with that smile and get out there and do it. And and it's a blessed life. When you think of all the things that you could do, it's sometimes, although it is hard work, it doesn't feel hard work, I guess, because I enjoy it. We enjoy it so much, and then every time we achieve something, you get that huge kind of sense of pride. Wow, we did that. Who'd have thought? We would do that now. We never get too big-headed, never get too ahead of ourselves. Just grateful to be doing what we're doing and enjoying every day.
And then we look at the kids themselves. A, they seem to love it. B, they seem to love the community of it. And C, they seem to be excited by the notion that one day they'll be like their mums and dads and grandpas starring in the show. There's no, you're going to be a star because we want you to be. They actually want to do this themselves, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more about the work, isn't it? The skill, as opposed to wanting to be famous or wanting sort of like recognition on a bigger scale. I think it's just that it is all you know, and it's all you know from such a young age, and you know, the more skilled you are, you sort of like, you're pushing yourself forward all the time. You're seeing those improvements, and you know, for the kids now, it's huge joy to watch them develop, to watch them, their skills get better, and to see that ethic, that work ethic. You know, because kids today, a lot of people are down on children in sort of, I suppose, a normal life. You know, you hear so much about children. Oh, I wish they'd do this. I wish they get off the computers. You know, our kids play. They have their time with their PlayStations, and they have their time with their friends, but they also want to do their schoolwork. They want to be in the ring. They want to be helping when the show is on. Well, you know, there's just that interest, I think, that is peculiar, I think, to us maybe as circus people, you know, is that we know we're all in it together, and that we're all fit together as a piece of a jigsaw. So the better we all are together, the better everything eventually is, you know. But the work ethic is in everybody in circus from a very, very young age. You know, it's very peculiar that you find somebody that would want to leave the circus for a different life.
And then we look at that sense of community for people who live a normal life in a house on a road where they don't know their neighbours. We watch that and it seems idyllic. I mean, the community you've formed within yourselves is extraordinary, isn't it?
I think so, and I think, you know, if other people are living normal lives, and I say normal lives, I don't mean that to sound horrible, but you know, and they're not living like this, I think we're going somewhere, you know, wrong, because I couldn't do the things I do without everybody behind me at Planet. You know, we all are in it together, and you know, we're just all there together. We're 150% behind each other, and I care for everybody there, you know, and I mean that sincerely. We really do have that bond. You know, we've been together all our lives. We've known each other such a long time, you know. I just think it's great for the kids to know they've got that security. They can come to Tanya, you know, they can come to Pav, they can come to me, they can go to Amelia, that we all, you know, we're all in it together. It's, you know, you don't find that today. You know, I sometimes think about modern life, and I think we're missing something, and I'm just glad we have that here. We are all, you know, and I think when people come and see the show, they see how close we all are together as a family, that they pick up on it, and none of it is fake. It's completely genuine. You know, everybody that works here, from the ring boys, you know, there's no stars here. There's no one's name is bigger than anybody else's. We're all in it together. We're a family, and I think that really does show. I always sort of say it's put on by sort of our family for your family, and you know, I just wish that, you know, all communities maybe were like this. I'm not saying we don't have days where we argue, or we don't always have days where we all get on, but, you know, we know that the circus is bigger than all of us, and eventually, you know, we do all sort of come back together, and, you know, like any life. But it's a good environment to be born into and to grow up in, and I'm very pleased that we captured that with the programme.
And then we look at next week's episode. The trail for it was that another circus was in town. I mean, it does become territorial, and the trailer sort of implied that you will stick up for yourself adamantly to protect your circus, because let's face it, you're running a business and many lives are depending on the success of that business.
Oh, yeah, totally, because, you know, the people don't come, we can't pay the wages, and nobody eats, you know, because it has to make money. As much as, you know, we enjoy it and we get a huge amount from it, you know, it has to make money. It is a business, and you know, you do have to stick up for yourself in life in general. You know, if you don't, then I think, you know, people just sort of think, oh, they can walk all over you. But, you know, we've done well to be where we are now. I think people understand where we are, where we go, what we do, So I think we've kind of all reached an understanding now. But yeah, you do have to stick up for yourself, and but that's not a bad thing sometimes as well. Do you know what I mean? If someone is doing something wrong, sometimes you do have to say, hang on a minute, that is wrong, and I wouldn't do that to you, so why are you doing it to me? Because I think sometimes now people do think they can take advantage or steamroller over other people's sort of opinions or wishes, and it's not nice. We're all in this world together, and it's a crazy world. We're not going to get out of it alive, so we may as well make the best of it while we're here, and enjoy it. I think that's our mentality here, is to enjoy life as much as we can, and to have a good life, and to enjoy doing the show, and hope that the people that come enjoy it as much as we do.
And just very finally about you, you've only ever worked really in show business all your life as a performer, and now running the circus. Tell us a bit about you.
Oh my goodness, it's all I've ever done. I had a peculiar childhood in a way. My family were always kind of, I suppose, in the show business, and it was better for me to be away from home, because my dad wasn't the nicest of people, and it had a huge effect on my mum. So I was carted off, and I spent all of my life sort of backstage. But I was very, very lucky, because I was around people like Les Dawson and Ruth Maddock and Sue Pollard and John Inman and people like that. And I think they saw something in me, particularly my friend Lynn, who was known as Marty Kane. And I knew all these from a very young age. And I think they saw that I wanted a better life, and it was a better life for me. It was like a light. It was so different. I was very shy. I was very kept myself to myself. But when the lights went on, I was a different person. And I think I was so grateful that they helped me the way that they did, considering they were all so busy and had so much on. But they showed me all the tricks of the trade. I learned a lot from Les Dawson. I learned a huge amount from John Inman, Marty Kane. They showed me the tricks of the trade, and I guess I was so lucky, because those people don't exist now. Ruth Maddock taught me to right foot onto the stage, and years later I got into a lot of the drama colleges in London, and I ended up at the Royal Academy of Music studying musical theatre, and it was such a strange environment for me, because there were all these kind of people who wanted to sing and dance, and of course I had been around all of that all my life, and all the big producers like Del Font and Dickie Haran, and I found it a really strange environment, because it was so different to the one I knew existed when you were in Manchester at the Palace for 7 weeks, or you were in Bradford at the Alhambra, and I struggled there, because I met two people were nice to me, Simone and a Scottish guy called Graham, and George Hall had come from the Guildhall and was lovely to me, and I had a good singing teacher, but I couldn't wait to leave and just get back to the life I knew, but I had a great life, and I look back on it all and think how lucky I was that, Les helped me, and Sue has always helped me, been a great, great friend to me, Ruth Maddock the same, and lovely John Inman, and my uncle had a cinema as well, which had lots of big stars, so he gave me a chance in the business to sort of sit and observe it all, and showed me how to make money, and it was a famous double act called Jewel and Warris, and Ben Warris actually gave me advice on what to do with my money. I can't say it on air because it's rude, but he told me to have a tin and a particular phrase on this tin. So, I always had a little bit of money put to one side and never took anything for granted. So, yeah, I love the business, and I just think I've worked hard, but I've been lucky. I was so lucky those people helped me, and I've fond memories of them, and I love them to bits.
And then in terms of the circus's future, there was a time when all these things were closing. I know in America earlier in the year, one of their biggest circuses just closed. How vibrant is the business? How successful is it? How much future does it have?
I think it's like anything, we do well, we do better in some places than other. We can't complain, but it's what you put into it. And I think, as I said earlier, it's about evolving constantly, so I think you've got to know where you are and what you're doing. And if it isn't working, change it very, very quickly, So I think as long as We can do things like we've done now, that's hopefully now shown circus in a better way. We can update the way that we present stuff. We can show people that the scale of it is huge, that it's as good as seeing a modern pop concert with the effects and the lighting and all of that. You're in with a chance. But it's like anything. If it does come to a point where you can't do it anymore, I think circus people are so industrious, that they'll find another route for their talents, So I always I always hope that it continues for the children and that they get the life out of it. I learned so much as a child, as I said, just being in that environment, the pantomimes, the summer seasons and all of that. And of course that's gone now to a degree. You don't have the massive summer seasons anymore, but I think that you just have to evolve. You have to keep changing. You have to keep thinking, right, shorter runs, pack them in, more shows, shorter runs, shorter moves, things like that. Your publicity, obviously now we're reliant on social media more and Facebook more and Twitter, so you have to embrace those kind of things. So, I think as long as you've ticked all those boxes, then you can sleep at night and you think, well, I've done my job. Do you know what I mean? And I hope it goes on forever. I really think there's nothing better than people just all sitting and watching something live and laughing together and enjoying something together. There's a real great feeling, I think, in that, in this sort of age of telephones and everything, on a smartphone.
Congratulations on everything. I've seen it myself. Planet Circus OMG. You can find out more. planetcircus.uk is the website. It's happening on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock, this 3-part series. It really is sensational. Circus Kids, Our Secret World airs Thursdays at 9. And for all the family, whether it's a 5-year-old or a 95-year-old, the effort, the talent and the discipline within this circus is remarkable. Mark Whitney, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex. You're welcome.